they retailed for like 35 bucks. So they're out of perspective. We managed to work something with Gorham's to bring them down 10 bucks. But the bottles themselves are made in a very sustainable way. They're not made using less energy. They're certified. There's a whole bunch of other good qualities. The green movement, yes. One of the things that's happened, green's become very marketing. A lot of people use green all the time. One of the things that we're trying to do is be a source of reliability when it comes to it, especially when it comes to the Bermuda context. The unfortunate thing is that there's lots of green out there, and a lot of people try to import it to Bermuda, but it doesn't really make much sense for Bermuda. One good example is hybrid cars. Hybrid cars is not a good thing for Bermuda, and on our site we've stated that over and over again, and we'll continue to state that. Because, why not? Well, hybrid cars have more component parts than a combustible engine car. Now in Bermuda, we don't, we dispose of our cars like our garbage. And the fact is now you're introducing a far more hazardous material to the island. Secondly, the mileage that you're going to get from using a hybrid car is really not designed for Bermuda. Bermuda is so small. Makes no sense. And then the third thing, which is something that Bermuda has to wrestle with, is the hybrid. As the technology emerges, they're going to try to get to all electric, which is really where Bermuda is, or alternative fuel vehicles, which is really where Bermuda is. And we need to try to get ahead of the curve, because Bermuda is always following the market. And this is more economics. It's following the market. We need to try to get ahead of the curve. And the only way we're going to do that is if we do some amazing things on this island, some exciting things. One of the things I try to do is create excitement about something, and these guys are doing the same thing, which is, you know, create a vision, get people to buy into the vision, and to see where Bermuda can become, because right now where it is and when the direction it's going, no one likes it.
Give me an idea as to what that vision is. Anybody?
Okay. Well, let me say this, all right. I mean, I've tagged along with Eugene to a couple of his presentations on sustainable development representing Greenrock, and I've watch the enthusiasm and the focus that these students, which is the future, right, would have. Now, this is the backdrop of a lot of negativity coming out of the education system, right? See what I'm saying? So I'll take along just to have my own personal experience, right, where these youths are at, right? See what I'm saying? So Gene will go in there, he gives a presentation, all right? Everybody is focused, riveted. After the meeting's over, or the presentation, the teacher will come and say, "Oh, Gene, hey, I'm so appreciative of what you've done, right? I've never seen the students so attentive, so patient." And then after it's over, they come like they won autographs from a rock star. But so why can't we just, like, you know, pick up pointers from there, huh?
Develop on that.
But the vision is this. You know, one of the things, and we're working on this right now. Like, for example, we've started a pilot green school project, and I'm not going to name the school, but it's a school that, you know, is really an excellent example of it. It's not the best school, but it's one of these schools that are very keen on doing it. And as Eugene experienced, the staff, meaning the teachers, the students, and also the Parent Teachers Association, the PTA. We got them involved. Well, one of the things that we look at is our public school system, or just public buildings in general, shouldn't be costing the general public that much money. We should be deploying as best energy efficiency, water conservation, all those sorts of...
those things come at a cost. Just as you mentioned, the hybrid vehicles and more components. Yeah,
well, it's more expensive, and it's you're chasing after something that, as a result of our market, we're so small, we're never going to be ahead of the curve. Whereas we can get ahead of the curve in these other technologies if we truly focused on it. Meaning that, for example, our fleet system that we use in government was more designed around something that's more energy efficient, not so flashy. We've gone the flashy route. And the unfortunate thing, and this gets back to the vision, we've got to start saying to ourselves, you know, we got to live within our means. You know, one of the things that comes out in the film that we're going to show is a thriftiness, meaning that, you know, we used to grow up historically as a thrifty people, because we recognize not every day we're going to get stuff shipped in. Not every day certain goods are going to be available. And so we needed to be thrifty, and we've lost that. We're a consumption society, and unfortunately that consumption society is fueled by what we get from the big marketers in the United States and elsewhere. So.
All right, don't forget our website, letstalkbermuda.com. You can post your comments there and see what others are saying in this national conversation. And of course, as usual, some comments will be read on air. I'm still waiting the signal as to whether we have that video ready. But while we await that video, I want to ask, how does all of this tie in with governments or the Ministry of the Culture Ministry's theme for Heritage Month, Green Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow?
Well, again, I say that, basically the theme is to highlight, as Andrew said, we were thrifty in the past, and there was a lot of things that we did that was real sustainable. This ties right into it because we're just revealing these things and putting them in front of people. It gives people an opportunity to observe these things or the reality of the issues that will be highlighted in the film, and then, we're looking to make different decisions going forward. We had a lot of conversations in the screening that we did, and I want to focus a little bit on mindset, right? Because, as Andrew said, we were thrifty before, so why are we thrifty now? I talked about, if you look at my family photos...
This is an affluent society, or it is an affluent society, and if you have the money, you see nice things you want to purchase?
Well, see, that's the thing. So we're functioning as if we have no limits. However, the reality is that there are limits. So we're functioning based on an illusion. Now, why aren't people seeming like they're interested in this? It's because people are living under an illusion. They're not dealing with reality because they're ignorant of the facts. Now, we're not stupid or anything. We just don't know. You see what I mean? So our goal here is to turn the lights on, lift the veil. Now, you have people out there who, in the interest of their own, of themselves, are trying to keep the lights off. They don't want you to know the full picture. So we're working against that in order to help people to be able to see the realities.
How much of a problem is that, though?
Well, that's a huge issue. That's a huge issue. And then now what has happened is become more complex because now the whole society is profit-driven. So people don't even know how to function outside of that. At one time, we didn't have money, right? So then people got conditioned into using money. Now, right, we pay for land. Land used to be free. Now we even pay for water. Like billions of bottles of it. We pay for it. Water's free. We pay for water, actually.
And that's a good example. Like here's going back to the past, the tie into the past. One of the things that we've noticed, and we're hoping to sort of work on a campaign with that, is we're departing so fast, aggressively away from harvesting rainwater. If you look at 5 years ago, the UN, and you went to one of the UN things, they were proclamating how successful Bermuda is in terms of harvesting. There's several countries that are moving towards that. Even the United States is moving towards that direction. So affluence is not necessarily indicated by having stuff. It's doing things smartly, and this is where the vision is. We can be a lot smarter in how we do things. Exactly. But we've moved away from the fact that we're now importing a lot of bottled water. We're using other things, and people are getting away from tasting tank water. And funny enough, one of the reasons that that's happening is that we've got an influx of people that are not familiar with it, and it's foreign to them. And rather than getting them to embrace it, it's more of a sustainable practice, we're sort of converting ourselves to conform to their way of life. And that's where I think that we're distancing ourselves from something that really makes you proud to be Bermudian if we can be smart about how we live. And then we can potentially showcase Bermuda as a place. People will come visit us because they want to experience that. And I've traveled all over the world, and I've seen different places where they're affluent. They're affluent countries. Especially you go to Scandinavia and some of the other places, they're very affluent, but they're doing things smartly. And that's something that I think Eugene is touching upon, that the veil over doing things smartly is being bypassed because it's easier from a commercial perspective to buy into what's going on in North America or buy into what's going on in other very commercialized places. And we could be taking a leadership role in that.
Are we doing that? Have you guys all, based on this theme for Heritage Month, Green Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow, is this an attempt to go in that direction?
I think it's a big step in that a government ministry.
But some people might argue that government is the biggest offender when it comes to not going green.
I didn't say that, but...
No, I'm saying some people. I didn't say you said that, my brother, man.
What I would say, I'm appreciative that government, under the ministry that is sponsoring this, has, for me, made a big positive step in the right direction. And it's given us great honor and privilege to work on that with energy, right, and try to bring, what we see as ways to better educate and mobilize the people in the right direction with regards to sustainable development.
But it's government, because we constantly hear people blaming government.
Yeah.
But nobody is willing to say, you know what, I don't really need 2 blackberries. I don't need 1 for that matter.
Yeah.
So is the onus on the individual then?
Yeah, it comes down to that. Yeah, you know, Glad said this at the presentation that we did.